Good morning, Keller Williams, Colorado. How is everyone today? I see some thumbs up. Awesome. Well, we're going to dive right in. I am so honored that Mo Anderson is here today to talk about profit share and her story at KW. Mo, welcome.
Well, I'm so excited you invited me, Russ. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny, Mo, we're in profit share time, and you were my first, ALC clinic time, and you were my first ALC clinic instructor in Kansas City, Missouri, back in like 2010, I think.
Oh,
and so it's a nostalgic time. I'm heading there tomorrow for ALC clinic. Mo, why don't we just jump right in? Tell us your story and how you found KW and how you fell in love with our culture.
Well, one day my phone rang and a stranger called me. We didn't have as many of those stranger calls back then. And he identified himself as Gary Keller. I'd never heard of him. He began to speak with me, and he said he had heard about me, and he found out how to reach me, and he talked about his company just a little teeny bit, not much. He talked about playing guitar. He talked about the birth of their first child, John, their only child, and how he had sleepless nights. He talked about his church. He talked about his dog. He talked about his wife. And so what was he doing, Russ? He was
building rapport with you.
Relationship with me. Mm-hmm. He began to call me about 3 and 4 times a week, but I found him to be fascinating. He didn't irritate me. He didn't make me want to hang up. He didn't make me want to not talk to him. And then after about a month of calling me frequently, he said, I'm going to have a meeting in Austin. And at this meeting, we're going to talk about the possibility of taking Keller Williams across the nation and possibly someday into Canada. He said, would you come to this meeting? And I said, well, yes, I'll come. And so he gave me the date, and it was a couple of months away. And then he said, may I fly to Oklahoma City and meet you? And I said, sure, you can fly to Oklahoma City, and we'll spend a day talking about your company and real estate. And he said, okay. So I met him in the where people walk off the plane, what do you call it?
The terminal.
The terminal. I met him at the end of the terminal. I told him I'd have on a blue suit and a name badge.
Yeah.
And he saw my name badge, and I thought he would probably be 50 years old because he sounded very mature on the phone. We had no cell phones back then. And so he walks up to me and he says, hi, I'm Gary Keller. And the first words out of my mouth were, oh my word, you're old enough. I am old enough to be your mother. Mm-hmm. And that's how we met. I ultimately went to the big meeting he had. He showed me the Y4C2Ts, and it blew me away because it was the first time in my life I had ever seen a real estate company put out there in writing what they really believed. That's how we met, and the rest is history.
I love that. Well, that leads perfectly into my next question for you. Mo, you have been a champion of our MVVBP, which includes the Y4C2Ts that you just described. Could you share your thoughts on mission, vision, beliefs, values, beliefs, and perspective, and why having a shared MVVBP is so important to you.
Well, let me tell you a story. Stanford University wrote a white paper about our company, as most of you know. And if you don't have it, you need to pull it up from the internet. I don't know how you find it because I have somebody that finds everything for me. But the professor who wanted this written eventually moved to Yale University. So when his MBA students studied our white paper, he would always invite me to come so I could answer questions and interact with the students. I think I went to Yale a number of times. I can't remember for sure how many, 7 or 8 or something like that. But I always knew what the first question would be, because it was the first question every time I went. And it was this: doesn't God, family, and business hurt you? Isn't that a detriment to your company? And my answer was always this, every single year. When you have a value statement or a mission statement that everyone buys into, that little statement, like God, family, and business, becomes a magnet that attracts like-minded people. No, we're not the same religion. Heavens no, we have everything represented in our company. No, we're not the same nationality. We have everybody represented in our company. Talk about being diverse. We are diverse. Mm-hmm. But what it does is it attracts like-minded people. People who think, well, whatever their faith is, their faith and their family are first and the business is second. And when you have people who are like-minded and they are attracted to your company, and then you teach them the purpose of the company, a place where entrepreneurs thrive, or careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. And they really buy into that. Let me tell you, you have power in your company. And that's why when we hit the downturns in the early days, we didn't go down. We either stayed the same or we went up a little bit. And all of our competitors could not figure out why that happened. Well, I can tell you why. It's because our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspective, people knew back then. They could say it by memory. They knew the Y4C2Ts, and they knew it was the predetermined way about how we were going to treat each other. And it gives you power that you don't have without it.
I love that. Moving to profit share, Mo, how have you seen KW profit share make a difference in our associates' lives throughout your many years with the company?
Well, one of my favorite stories is the one that Mark King tells, and it's about his grandmother and how he kept her alive. I believe it was a little over an additional year where he could enjoy his grandmother by paying for her kidney treatment, dialysis treatment. And he received each month $400 and some. And if I remember correctly, that was the amount of her treatment. That was the cost of her treatments. And that story touches my heart so much because he got to enjoy Grammy one more year.
Yeah.
I've watched agents put it in a special fund for their retirement. I know Dave Jenks, before we lost him, he had a wonderful retirement because he made a lot of money in profit share.
Mhm.
I'm thinking of another agent who has retired, Althea Osborne. She has more money in her retirement than most people make in a really good job.
Right.
But here's the issue. They were thrifty, they were disciplined, and they put it away to save for retirement. We can't call it a retirement fund because it's not. It's profit share.
Mhm.
But it can function similar to a retirement fund. I've watched other people invest it in their business. I've seen other agents buy rental property with it. I used it after I saved up enough money for my family. I had used it to take my girl groups on surprise trips, and I give them really big presents and wonderful things because it's just so much fun to give. I've seen other people give it to charity. It changes the life of every individual agent we have if they get serious about this opportunity of profit share. One thing I want to say about profit share is originally when it was created by Gary in his first ALC, it was really designed to be a blessing to each agent's family. Because if you had $50,000 that showed up in the bank over the course of a year, what would you use it for?
Mhm.
And whatever you name, I'll ask you the question, would that bless your family? And your answer would be yes, no matter what you used it for. And so if you realize that it's a pile of money that you can take part of it off the table and put it in your bank, think how it would bless your family.
Mhm.
And the truth is, if you don't get serious about profit share, if you don't learn how it works so that you get excited about it, and you don't take advantage of it, this is kind of hard to say, but you're actually cheating your family. You're actually cheating your family. And who wants to be known as a family cheater? Nobody.
Sure.
So team leaders have to teach it in the market center at least every week so that your new people, and we don't care if there's 1 or 10 in the class. It's really great when you have a real small class because then you can answer more questions, you can have more dialogue, and they understand it far faster.
Mhm.
So always remember that profit share is meant to bless your family.
That's great. Mo, we've got a lot of leaders on the call. We've also got a lot of agents, and we've got some of our some people that are very bought into profit share here. What would you say are some of the best strategies for an agent to get more profit share, to bring agents who would name them as a sponsor?
Well, I think it's to say to a co-op agent in another company that you feel would be a match for the team. I believe it's when you say, I love doing co-op deals with you. You're amazing, because remember the last transaction we had? You absolutely jumped through hoops. to get it to close. And I will never forget what all you did and how much I appreciate it and how I admire you as an agent, and go from there.
Right.
Then take them out to lunch,
Mhm.
and then call them up and say, hey, I have a new listing, and of all the people in the MLS, I'd love for you to sell this listing. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. It looks like a little decorator show home, and it's going to go fast. So if you're interested in it, let me know, because you need to look at it right away. But oh, you give me great joy to see you sell my listing. And as you continue to nurture that relationship, then invite them to a class.
Yeah.
And make sure that the teacher of that class is really dynamic and outstanding. And then that's when you introduce them to your team leader, and the team leader begins the relationship just like you've begun the relationship. It's where you stay in touch with them and you share with them what Keller Williams has meant to you. Maybe you doubled your business while you were with Keller Williams. You know what, Sally Sue? I doubled my business. Man, I wish you were in our company. I'm not trying to recruit you because I know you're happy where you are. See, just make it simple and just make it real and make it genuine, because it's the team leader's job to recruit them.
Yeah.
Now that we've talked about an R2 or a higher producing agent, now I want to talk to you about a brand new person. Do we have time?
We do. Please.
A brand new person may or may not be a match for real estate. The truth is, not everybody is meant to sell real estate. We kind of treat the business as if everybody's meant to sell real estate. And it's very hard to determine who really has the talent for it and who maybe doesn't. But we're looking for 3 things. We're looking for initiative, we're looking for discipline, and we're looking for fire in the belly to succeed. Those are 3 things that we look for in a brand new person. Now, I want to share with you a story of when I was CEO, and I went to Houston to help some team leaders. And there were just a few team leaders in this little tiny training session. But I could tell they were spending way too much time with new people. They needed to be working on experienced people, because then that builds your gross commission income really fast. So the team leader had 2 appointments scheduled with brand new people. The first person came at 3 o'clock. He was probably 55 years old. He was a gentleman who had been in the corporate setting. He was very professional looking, rather reserved, and I met him at the door. She wanted me to do the recruiting so everybody could watch. I met him at the door and I said, I'm so happy to meet you. And I need to tell you, this could be a really short meeting or this could be a long meeting. I don't know which it will be. And I also want you to know that we only have room for 1 new person at a time. And I'll be interviewing probably at least 5 people for this one position. And I'll be choosing the person that I believe that has the greatest track record for success. So I'm so anxious to ask you, Mr. Smith, the magical question. So I bring him in, we had him sit down across from me, and we get him his coffee or whatever he wanted. And then I don't talk about the weather. I don't talk about how was your trip here. I don't talk about any of that. I, boom, ask the question. Tell me what you've done since high school or college that you are really, really proud of. Things that you have succeeded, things you're proud about, and don't you be shy and don't you hold back on me, because I want to know everything, everything. And he sat in his chair and he began to squirm. He kind of moved around a bit in his chair, and I always wear a watch that has a second hand on it because I can't stand more than 45 seconds of silence. That's it. And I said, can you think of something? And, you know, it was silent. He never really did answer much at all. In fact, he didn't answer at all. He just kind of said, let me think, let's see what I'm proud of. And then at the end of 45 seconds, I stood up, grabbed his hand, and I said, Mr. Smith, it has been so good to meet you. If I decide I want to talk to you again, I'll be calling you. And I escorted him to the door, and I had him out of the room in 5 minutes. Now, you may think that's rude, but it's not. I had important things to do that day, and I can't spend time with a person who cannot tell me anything that they've done that they're proud of. I don't see any initiative. I don't have any examples to see if they have discipline, and I saw absolutely no fire in his belly. I didn't even see a lit candle in his belly. So out the door he went, but I was very gracious and nice to him. At 4, and then I worked with the team leaders some more. At 4 o'clock, she had another brand new person to interview. I met her at the door, gave the same little speech. I am so excited to meet you. And I said, this could be a short meeting or a long meeting. And I want you to know we only have one opening. I've already interviewed one person, and I'll be interviewing several so that I can choose the one that I believe will succeed in the business. So I can't wait to ask you the magical question. So she comes in, sits down, gets her drink, and I say, what have you done since high school or college that you are really proud of? Don't you hold back on me. Tell me everything. She scoots up in her chair. She leans over and she says, well, when I was in college, I was president of my sorority, and we did this and we did that and we did that. Now, I also put together the spring thing. I organized it all. I organized the first spring thing. And then she said, I met my husband at college and I married him and we moved to Houston, and now I'm president of such and such a club. I can't remember what it was. We won a contest. We got to go to the White House, and we're getting ready to do this and this and this and this. Okay, let's stop. Did I see in her stories, did I see initiative? It takes a ton of initiative to be president of a sorority in college, because it's much like herding cats. It takes tons of initiative to go formulate, organize, and pull off the first spring thing that university ever had. It takes a lot of initiative. Now, did I see discipline in her story? Yes, I saw discipline in her story. Lots of discipline. boy, it takes a ton of discipline to do what she did. Coming back to Houston, organizing this club and winning a contest and all of that is discipline. Did I see fire in her belly? I saw fire all over her body. It was in her eyes. It was in the way she spoke. It was in her body language. It was in her belly. It was in her hands. She was moving her hands when she talked. Now the issue is this. She was hired, of course, and it was a long meeting. And she became Rookie of the Year. She capped in 3 months, and she became Rookie of the Year in Houston that year. That's who you're looking for. Quit wasting your time on the people who aren't meant for this business, won't be able to succeed in this business, and they need to be dehired at the end of the year, of their year. Now, there's one more thing about a new person I want to talk to you about. And it's about the mother who stays home, does a fabulous job of raising her children and helps her husband in his business. Because many times those mothers are fabulous real estate agents. But I want you to take off the table the fact they're a great mother. And let me show you how to do this. What you say to them is, I've heard about your wonderful children, and I've heard about how you helped your husband. And there's no success like being a great parent. That's the highest success that exists in the whole wide world. So we're going to not talk about the kids or the husband. What we're going to talk about is, what did you do outside the home that helped your family? Now, if they can't tell you anything, probably I would pass over this candidate. But here's what most of them will say. They'll say, I wanted my little girl in Bluebirds, and we didn't have a Bluebird organization, and I started one. Wow, is that good? Or they may say, well, I was president of the PTA. Wow, is that good? Because that's probably one of the hardest jobs in the world. It requires initiative, it requires tons of discipline, and it requires fire in the belly. Yeah. Or they might say, I just wanted to, I love flowers, and so I started a garden club. Or I was president of a garden club. Do you see how you take the outside things to see how it enhanced the family? And the garden club enhanced her because she loved flowers. So that's how you interview a wonderful, wonderful stay-at-home mom who could turn out to be absolutely a mover and a shaker in real estate. But you look for the initiative it took for her to do something or start something. You look for the discipline it takes. Why is discipline such an important factor to look for in the candidate you're interviewing? Well, it's because it takes discipline to lead generate. It takes consistency, and that requires discipline. And then, of course, fire in the belly. They could be a little bit quiet and still have a ton of fire in the belly, but I'll guarantee you, you'll see it in the interview.
Yeah.
I hope that's helpful.
That's super helpful. I love that. And I think a lot of times we make the mistake of asking no questions when we're interviewing brand new agents. We just hope they can fog a piece of glass, and and we don't do any further investigation. So
You gotta make sure they're a match.
right,
If they're not a match, then you're gonna ultimately have to dehire them. Now, one other thing I want to encourage you to do with new people that I think is very important is to talk about money. And I would put it in the money talk. I would recommend you do it in 3 buckets. The first bucket is the sheet that you show them of how much it costs to get into real estate. All of you have those sheets. You know, your dues, your cards, your signs, all that stuff. The second sheet I would give them is show what their monthly expenses will probably be. And all of you, I know, have that sheet. But the third bucket that you're going to talk about is the most important bucket of all. And I say, now this bucket is the bucket of money that will make you confident and secure. Now, it could be 5,000, it could be 10,000, it could be 15,000, whatever you're comfortable with. You need to have this money over here, just as a safety net, because you may have a sale, but it may not close in time for you to use commission to pay your office bill. And here you have this money. And what this money does for you is it takes away your stress. And it's so important for you not to be stressful with your people and not to be stressful as you learn, because the first year you're in the business, let me tell you, it's kind of like drinking from a fire hose. There's so much to learn. And your security money gives you confidence, takes away your stress, because you're not going to be worried about how to pay a bill, or work it out with your spouse if you have or a significant other or whatever. Work it out where you know your family bills will be paid by using some little pot of money. That pot of money talk is really important, because what happens when you have someone who maybe is a single mother and they don't have their security money, they don't have their confidence money, they get stressed, because real estate, when you're new, is kind of stressful. But the money, knowing it's there and you can use it when you need it, will just mean so much to your new agent. Please do the money talk. And if they don't have any money, they can do all sorts of things, like put their database in while they're saving money. Now, I personally have a policy in the offices where I'm OP that we don't take part-timers. However, we'll take somebody part-time maybe for 60 days or 30 days, and it gives them a chance to maybe save a little bit more money, gives them a chance to learn command, it gives them a chance to get their database entered into command and do a lot of the things that have to be done at first. But I'm talking about having part-time people all the time.
I love that.
That doesn't work most of the time.
Mo, I wanted to ask you about events. The Colorado region has an event almost every month, unless there's a big KWRI event. And we encourage agents to bring guests. In fact, if the guest is a capper, they can come to a Colorado event for free. And last month, we had 50 agents come that were not with KW, 50 cappers came to Business Planning Clinic with James Shaw. I'm wondering, how would you encourage agents to use training events to help them grow profit share?
Well, my team leader and assistant team leader in an office that I have helped resurrect, because it was about to go down, do the most interesting things. The assistant team leader is very young and she's well connected in town, has been in the real estate business consulting people for several years. And we got her, we wanted her so badly. She's formed a women's group. And they meet once a month. They have interesting speakers. And then in the market center, she and the team leader have formed masterminding groups. And then everybody in the market center tells on Facebook how awesome these masterminding groups are. And guess what happens? People from other companies come all over the place. We'll have a mastermind group, and they have them pretty often. And it's because she is such a great facilitator. She and the team leader can facilitate so well. And so we have people from all other companies coming. Guess what? At one mastermind group, 7 women from the women's group came to the mastermind group. So then they go on Facebook and tell how fabulous James Shaw was at his business planning class. And then guess what happens? After about 90 days, they'll start coming to the team leader and the assistant team leader and say, you know what? Every time I come to a mastermind group over here, the energy is so fabulous. There are just people bustling and people being friendly to each other and people, I just can't believe the energy in this office. And I think it's time that I move over here.
I love that.
We don't even have to ask them.
Right.
Well, a lot of people we ask, but a lot of them we don't even have to ask them because we get into a relationship with them. It was really interesting at a team meeting. The team leader asked me to say a few words, and there were 2 recruits there that had been coming to the mastermind meetings. And I just shared something really simple. I said, we are committed to rebuilding this office to be a drama-free office. You create drama in the office, I'm sorry, but you'll be gone. I actually said that. And then I said, we're creating this office to be the greatest productivity office in the city. You watch us in a couple of years. We will be the top producing office after nearly dying. This office nearly died. And just watch what happens. And we are going to build it with people who really look at real estate as a profession. And people who speak like professionals, who act like professionals, and who dress like professionals. It's going to be the highest energy office in this city. That's our vision with this office. And both of them told the team leader at the end of that 3-minute speech or whatever it was that they wanted to come.
Yeah.
And they affiliated. They were cappers.
I love that. Mo, we're getting close to the end of our time today. I wanted to ask you a question about production. You've led KW through multiple shifts, and you've been in the real estate industry during multiple times like these current times where it suddenly got a little harder to sell real estate. I'm wondering, What advice would you give to an agent who's looking to grow their business right now?
You know, it is so simple. It's kind of pathetic, but I've done my own little survey because I talk to people all over the country all the time. And right now, in this shifting market, however, I believe it will be more of a steady market before it gets hot again for probably some time. But I've learned through my little surveys that all of you out there who are Facebook lead generating, meaning you're watching your sphere of influence on Facebook and you're with them all the time. If they have a baby, you take a gift and a bag of diapers, and if they have a death, you're there to love on them and take some food. We have a new agent who Facebook lead generates, and she did 8 million her first year. And this year she's on track for 12, probably 12 to 15. She could hit 15, but I know she'll hit 12 million in volume. Now, the ones who are working their database, who are Facebook generating, who are door knocking, who are golf lead generating, who are doing all these ways to lead generate, which you can find on page 136 in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Bible, which we realtors use. If you're doing that, you're knocking it out of the ballpark in this market. If you're not doing that, you're not making any money, and you keep thinking about quitting, and you're probably whining and complaining, when all you need to do is just suck it up and go get busy establishing relationships, whichever way you want to do it, because there are a jillion ways to do it. Knocking doors, calling people, you know what to do.
Yeah.
And the ones that are doing very well. The ones who aren't doing it are not doing well at all. Russ, it's that simple, because real estate is not really a real estate business. The real estate business is the lead generation business. It's a relationship business. When you lead generate, if you're not establishing a relationship, it doesn't do any good to lead generate.
Mo, you started this conversation telling us the story of how Gary Keller aggressively got to know you and created a relationship with you and recruited you to the company. And really, the secret to profit share and the secret to success in any market is exactly the same. It's all about caring about people, getting to know them, and providing a ton of value, isn't it?
It's telling these co-op agents that you respect and you would love for them to be on your team. Yep. It's showing this deep appreciation that you have for them, because real estate agents aren't appreciated. The public thinks that your Mercedes car fell out of heaven and landed in your lap, and you really didn't do much for it. You know, you just went out and sold a house. They have no clue how you battle in the trenches over legal issues, over loan approval issues. They have no idea how hard you work. And showing appreciation to other co-op agents is the key.
I love that. Can we open up and see if anyone has any questions for you in our last couple minutes? You can put them in the chat or take your.
Oh, I love questions, and it always makes me sad if you don't ask any.
Charles.
Yes, sir. Mo, thank you for your time with us in the Colorado region. today. And my question is this: what do you believe are the top three classes that we should be offering in our market center for one, engagement with our agents, but the second, for these co-op agents to so they can experience the culture and the experiences that we have inside of our four walls?
Well, right now, business planning, because October, November, and December is the business planning period. And then a bold anytime, well, business planning anytime, but especially now. I think bold is so important. I would put together some sort of an event for top producers, and then I would have a KPA class for them where they actually learn how to interview. Because see, in our company, we went through a period where it was all numbers. We didn't consider if the person would be able to succeed in the business because they had such a great track record of success. And so the same is true when a mega agent or a top agent hires an assistant or they hire a new team member. They've got to know how to bring a group of people together, interview them, and then pick the best one. You're not going to pick them all because they're all not going to be the best one, because you're after the person who's going to be able to succeed. So I would say the KPA is really important. I think you could get all sorts of co-op people to come to your class. If you had a KPA class, then get your agent to say on Facebook how great that class was for them, how it helped them recruit the right person, whether it be to be an assistant or to be placed to be a person that plays a role on a team, because every single person that's recruited in this office that I've resurrected will go through the KPA. And for a mega agent, it may be after they get here. But what does that do? It makes them bond with the team leader. And then it helps the team leader tell the rainmaker whether or not they recommend that they hire this person. So it just has pluses everywhere, every way you look at it. Does that answer your question, Charles?
Yes, ma'am. I super appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. We got a couple more questions, Mo. Savannah?
Oh, good. I'm so excited. I love Colorado.
It's not exactly a question, I'm sorry, but I just wanted to really say thank you to you and the leadership in the Colorado region, because we were just going over in Leadership Academy how an organization's culture is really driven by its people. And I just think you guys are so fantastic at putting people first still, even when things are more difficult right now. So thank you.
Thank you for filling our buckets. And you know, that's something you should do at the beginning of every team meeting, at the beginning of every leadership meeting. Just stop and allow people to show appreciation. Oh, that was so kind and so sweet, so lovely, and it made my day.
How about DTC? Katie, or I can't tell who's over there.
Hi, it's Mae Jackson. First of all, thank you, Mo, for taking the time to come out here and talk with us this morning. But we were kind of curious, what events outside of Red Day do you like having that's going to help you bring people into your market centers and help us bring good talent into our company? Cultural events.
Okay, Russ, help me know exactly what the question is, because it cut out here.
Mo, they're asking about cultural events outside of Red Day. What cultural events might a market center have in addition to Red Day to attract the right people?
Well, I think every market center, I tried to role model it when I was really active with the company, but I think every single market center should have a little inspirational breakfast. That's a wonderful way, and it's been role modeled to you. There are videos if you're new and you haven't seen one. The second thing is I would have a cultural event in choosing your, and it could be an in-office cultural event, but you could invite people to it. In choosing your cultural ambassador representative from your office. That could be a really fun, it wouldn't take any money to do, it wouldn't take, and then when you tell everybody in the multi-list area, in your friends in other companies, then you could say, we're going to choose our cultural ambassador. So come watch us. That would be fun. You could have an event for a family maybe you've been helping. You could have an event for a soldier who has come back and maybe lost an arm, a leg, or both. There are just a jillion things that your culture, your social committee could think of to do. We had in this market center that I helped resurrect, we had a Veterans Day in our market center. And as a result, we have ended up having about 25 veterans as agents when they leave the military. And let me tell you, talk about discipline, talk about loving to be on a team, because on the battlefield, your team is everything. Oh my, they're awesome agents. I hope that was helpful.
Those are great suggestions. Mo, we are out of time. I know you've got a meeting that you're going into in just a few moments. Just wanted to say thank you for your contribution to our region today. We really appreciate it.
Russ, I just love you. I just think you're doing wonders in Colorado, and anything I can do to help you with your people, because Colorado was always special to me when I was, visiting there a lot. And I just want you to know I want to be the wind beneath your wings. So tell me what I can do. I love you all so much.
Take care, Mo.
Good. Bring those recruits and ask the magical questions.
Thank you.
People, especially.
All right, everyone. Have a great week. Talk soon.
Bye.